The new psychological horror film Him from director Justin Tipping has been getting a lot of mixed reactions. While some are praising the uniqueness of the film and how it's brought sports to the horror genre, others are tearing it apart for its lack of a cohesive storyline. I fall somewhere in the middle on how I felt about Him. With a screenplay by Zach Eggers, Skip Bronke, and Justin Tipping, and produced by Jordan Peele, Him follows Cameron Cade, played by Tyreek Withers, who suffers a potentially career-ending injury on the eve of a very important football scouting event. Cameron then gets a life-changing opportunity to salvage his chances of going pro and train with his childhood sports hero Isaiah White, played by Marlon Wayans, at his secluded compound. The week-long training goes from mysterious to strange, then to downright horrific, as Cameron must decide how much is he willing to sacrifice to be him. The film has been in theaters for a week, so to really get into the nitty-gritty, I will be talking spoilers, so this is your warning if you haven't watched Him yet. Let's start with the good. I really liked the concept of Him and the structure of the film. I like movies that break down the story into parts, and that's what happened in Him when Cameron got to Isaiah's compound and started his vigorous boot camp. The idea of what are you willing to sacrifice for your goals and overall dreams can be applied to any industry. So I liked how that concept was pushed in this story. Cameron has been programmed since a child to worship football and aspire to this particular career. And that also brought up the idea for me of how much of our aspirations are really ours or what has been planted in our minds of what we're supposed to do. And Cameron had an interesting monologue about that in the movie about following through with football for his dad and not necessarily wanting to do it for himself anymore, or if he wanted to do it at all in the first place. So it had some good themes and food for thought in this movie. Him also gave me a bit of the Substance vibe, like where you have this younger and better star on the rise, threatening to overtake everything you built. And that was very much accurate to Cameron and Isaiah's inner conflict. And also how age plays a factor in many industries. And once you reach a certain age, a replacement is sought after. Performance-wise, I think Tariq and Marlon did an amazing job. Much of the movie is scenes between them, and they were exciting to watch, blending tension, comedy, and horror. Visually, him was stunning. Isaiah's compound was very minimalist, though, and dark in many of the rooms, except his football field practice area, which was always well lit. And that could be a sign of how revered that room was compared to the others, but the overall structure of the location was beautiful. There were also some pretty cool editing choices, like when there was a collision or any type of physical contact between players happened, it was switched to like this X-ray ultraviolet effect, and those are pretty dope. And then the soundtrack. The soundtrack was lit. The score was beautiful. The song choices were perfect. Like I was jamming in my seat. There are so many positive things that I liked about Him. So why are people disliking this movie so much? For me, it had to be the execution of what was really happening behind the scenes at Isaiah's compound and why Cameron was chosen to go there to train. Long story short, Cameron was groomed from a child to one day be this next great player. While at Isaiah's compound, he was getting these daily doses of blood. I think it was Isaiah's blood. And basically, this blood has been infused in great football players for a while. Players that signed over their souls essentially to be great. But I guess it can only be one player at a time that has this special blood pumping through them. And Cameron and Isaiah have this fight to the death because only one of them can be him moving forward in this situation. Cameron makes it and is faced with a decision to be the next great player, but he had to sign on the deadly dotted line. Very much Ariel making a deal with Ursula. He decides his soul is too much of a price to pay and then proceeds to go ham and slaughter a bunch of the executives who are presenting him with this deal. It got so randomly gory at that point. Like there were some bloody and violent moments before in the movie, but the ending was like the ending of The Home. It was laughably gory. I think the ending fell flat for me because it was like this buildup of the 7 days that Cameron was at the compound. And then the reveal of what was happening was just like, okay, like that's it. I didn't hate it, but I kind of wish there was something more. Maybe like a skeleton key ending where it was a single player transferring vessels over time. But you know what? If this is the story the creators wanted to tell, we gotta take it or leave it. Overall, I think him was okay. I applaud anyone who can put out original content these days, and I'm always going to watch a horror movie, good or bad. The performances were good. I think the conversations being had surrounding this movie and the concept are interesting, and I would definitely want to see it again when it comes on streaming, of course. Him is now playing in theaters. Let me know how you felt about the movie in the comments.